All right, this is the final video for Operation Savage Rabbit. It was an Allied victory, hard fought by both sides. In the very beginning, I believe the Axis, you know, gained the initiative. They took out the British fleet. They had cleared the Mediterranean. They took Cairo. Everything was going good for them. They planned on a turn three attack on Russia. Germany made their attack, spectacular success. They're driving hard. They even, on their turn, made a prohibition of vodka in the title of their video. And if anybody knows me, I like my vodka, and that was not going to sit well. So what I did is I worked with my allies, and we came up with a way to hit Berlin, turn three. So it was a three-pronged attack. We used the British Air Force to wipe out the troops in Norway. And then we used the Commonwealth transport by itself to land troops to take Norway. And why, you might ask? So that the Russian airplanes could land somewhere after attacking Germany. So we took that transport, we attacked Berlin, and we took it. And all the German troops were facing Russia. So we snuck in behind them, got Berlin, and took their lunch money. Unfortunately, obviously wasn't enough to keep it, and they bounced back pretty well, but it kind of had ripples throughout the game because they were never quite able to get enough troops where they needed to be and as many as they needed to be. We kept hitting them. We took Normandy. The United States just kept pumping troops into Normandy and keeping that pressure on Paris, as well as keeping transports available to do more land invasions. Also, we were able to take Berlin turn 8. It was another coordinated effort. The plan was to hit Berlin with our Air Force from the United States because we had to clear Denmark with our Navy. So we took our Navy, hit Denmark. The Air Force went into Berlin. He had reinforced it. There were troops there, but the U.S. Air Force was able to wipe them out, and then Britain was able to have a walk-in on their turn. The plan was a little bit more elaborate than that. We also were going to send the British in, and if they couldn't take it, we had the Russian transport again open for business. We also were able to take Paris on that turn, and we were about to walk into Warsaw with the Russians. And that was all just kind of symptomatic of having had that bad turn 3 and not able to build critical mass of troops to hold us back. The Italians were doing great. They had the Mediterranean to themselves pretty much the whole game, took Cairo, and were about, they were probably going to get the Horn of Africa point, maybe not. The Commonwealth had built 3 transports down in South Africa, and we're going to hopefully take 1 territory back to keep them from getting that point. The British did manage to hold Calcutta, and it wasn't going to look like that was going to fall, but they had to take Burma back to keep the Southeast Asia point from coming into play. And I think, based on my calculations, they were going to have a 70% chance to take it. So I think that was going to happen. But Japan, they had a pretty good go of it. They wiped out the American fleet in the end, which, Pyrrhic victory didn't really matter at all by that point. But they had all the islands and all the oil. Unfortunately, they weren't able to capitalize that and, get Calcutta or wipe out China. One thing we did do is on turn 3, the British did initiate war on Japan and did help out the Chinese in Yunnan and keep that, Yunnan supply chain going, the Burma Road. America in the Pacific side was never really a threat. I mean, we from the beginning were thinking, Germany first. And obviously that's the way it played out, but not as effective as we had hoped. Germany was able to keep our fleets down and do some successful air raids. But like I say, Japan, needed to take the islands in just a little bit more, whether it be taking China or possibly Calcutta. So in the end, they were really close on points. I mean, if we had failed in Berlin and failed in Paris, they likely would have won. But I think Paris or Warsaw were going to fall. I mean, the Russians were bound to were on their way to take Warsaw. Maybe the Italians would have been able to beef it up a little bit, but it was probably a 75% in favor of the Russians. Let's see, what else happened in this game? Like I said, the Japanese were able to maintain their fleet, maintain their air force, and make good use of everything. They just couldn't get enough where they needed it to take India. And then Italy did their part spectacularly. They took the Middle East. They were not going to lose those oil points. The Horn was, probably unlikely that they would have kept it. But yeah, they cleared the Mediterranean. They kept most of their fleet throughout the whole game. I think they ended with their battleship and one of those cruisers. So yeah, they were a menace. Unfortunately, that it wasn't enough to keep Germany afloat, and that was the difference. So, again, hats off to their game players. They did a great job. Great job of communicating with each other. My teammates, I mean, we were conniving every day, sending each other messages. Hey, how about this attack? What do you think about this? No, I don't think I have enough resources to make that happen. And, like I said, in the end, we had to have that coordination to make these hits on Berlin. We had some other things we planned that didn't quite work, like taking taking Cairo. Dice just murdered us on that attack, and a few other spots we kind of failed at making a splash. But the one that really mattered was Berlin turn 3, and that shaped the rest of the game. All right, signing off here. This is Bandit. Y'all have a good night, and thanks for the game, guys.